Well, it seems as we are pretty deep into this group stage 2 that this completely destroyed my introduction.
Welcome to group stage 2.
No, there was a story here. Every game has a story. Respect the goddamn story. And the story is...
You sound like Game of Thrones
the
last
teams
season.
that were at the top of their groups in group stage 1 remain so. And unfortunately for TSM and OG, the same applies to them. They got 4th in their respective groups, and that they are bottom of the group stage 2. And whoever loses this is going to be the bottom of the bottom.
Are you done with your story?
I'm done with my story now. Proceed. Big man wanted to interrupt my introduction, but now can't say anything, huh?
No, it's just that last season of Game of Thrones was so bad.
It was so really bad.
Anyway, Whitemon's going to get Galed, and that is going to be first blood. Can you get the deny, Bryle?
Bryle?
Got to smack the dog. I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to.
Oh, they stunned him. That was smart.
That was the next level play.
Well played, Taiga.
You do not want to be giving gold to Venno before the lane even starts. Cyril just buys region with it, and then he just mans up. And then even if you kill him in trade, he's just happy to come back.
Yeah.
Nice start for DM here. Going back to that Venomancer.
I'm going to do it again.
Doesn't look like the greatest Venno game, though. All right, put it on paper.
No.
Rubik's pretty good versus you. Storm doesn't care about any of your slows. Bloodseeker oftentimes can just bypass your wards with the haste that other heroes set up for him. Furion just TPs on you and is a summon hero that can oftentimes deal with the wards. But it's been an OG very comfort pick. Very strong lane dominator for them as well that can enable Taiga on some of these heroes that he has overperformed on, and Monkey King is one of those. I believe he's 4-1 with Monkey.
Okay, so the Bloodseeker was picked up to counter the Pango. Maybe the idea is they just dumpster the Bloodseeker enough in lane. BCM will have a bit more of a game.
Also that the Venno front lines in the fight. There isn't going to be just this easy, clear rupture target, perhaps.
Sure.
But yeah, I think the name of the game is dominate the lane right here. Level 1 and 2 are pretty strong, but Venno is all about level 2 poison sting. What do you get done with that level 3 timing? You start outputting those big right clicks, wearing him down, and then you have a TP cancel on Taiga. So once you're locked in the arena, you got to fight for your life.
BZM already struggling here in this lane against the Storm Spirit, it seems. 9-4 compared to the 5-0. That's a rough one. Oh, caught him with another Gale. This is going to be troublesome for Taiga. He's going to take a lot of damage here. Failed to dodge the Blood Right and is trying to out-heal the damage being done and will be able to be a part of the kill for Whitemon. Though I do almost wonder, with First Blood already being taken, if TM would have preferred if Taiga died first.
That's true. Sacrifice yourself.
Yeah, give me the solo experience. Because now Bloodseeker has level 2 Thirst. DM does not have level 2 Poison Sting.
Still going to be a lot of harass here going in. Has Whitemon TP'd mid for the bottle refill?
Really?
That is pretty greedy, man. I know you want to accelerate Brown in this game off Storm, but leaving Tomato in the 1-on-2 versus Venno, that is brutal. He's going to get full zoned off these waves, so he's missing a decent amount of CS bottom.
If I do that in a pub, I'm at 1,000% being pinged over and over again.
Yeah, and if you're doing that in a pub with Arteezy, you're getting reported.
True.
Watch yourselves out there, kids.
Well, Arteezy would be the one reported because he would kill his items. But
what if Quinn and Eternal Envy are in the game? Then who's reporting who?
Oh, Jesus. That has happened far too often.
Fool, you've unlocked my trap card.
I don't have enough reports for all the players in this one game. Man, had to bring out another round of tangos. Rough light out here.
And the rough life is going to boost up Tomato. So maybe that's what can help this bottom lane. You destroy mid hard enough, you win it off the amp up for the Bloodseeker. I was looking for that rune, looking for the kill, but won't get there in time.
Yeah, if he got there 5 seconds earlier, he takes away the rune and zaps BZM, maybe even gets a kill.
I think mid and bottom are the two very volatile lanes in this matchup. I haven't talked about top too much just because I think Wraith King versus Furion up here Yuragi probably should just free farm. There's not going to be much pressure going into him. It's just a matter of who gets more CS and levels off the lane.
Sure.
And then Kasane is going to be able to rotate, whereas Yuragi just has to kind of farm, get into that mid game in as strong a position he can. I would expect the Armlet Deso AC type build here. Go for the early objective taking with Veno with the zone control and Pango around the pit. That sounds pretty nice to me. And if you're Kasane, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get active on some of these other lanes. Even maybe just TP on BZM here is getting run down the river.
Being totally zoned out of lane. Once you go for the boundary rune, we'll be able to get it. Kasane returns back to top.
You got to be careful how far you step up here in this lane if you're Whitemon. You're a 280 MS wolf with no boots. You get slapped once and hit with that poison. This is like 90% of your HP. Ooh, nice little pause.
What's the minimum movement speed you can beat? 100? I think it's 100. So it means when he's hit by just Gale, he slows down to 140.
Look, why do you ask me all these mechanic questions? Do I look like Fog to you? No. That guy knows all the mechanics. I'm not here for the mechanics. I'm here.
What are you here for?
Actually, I don't really know.
The lore?
The lore? Did somebody say lore?
Nice gank if they can get it. Ryle. Oh, they can't actually commit. That is rough. Taiga may actually die for this. Whitemon not able to get the final hits in and didn't have the mana for Frostbite. That was the reason why.
A lot of early HP being bled off in these lanes. Got to feel good if you're Tomato running around down here 450, 500 MS. Always nice for Bloodseeker.
Taiga comes back again. This time does successfully get the kill.
This is going to be a rough Crystal Maiden game.
Yeah.
He is already 0-3. He's not going to get the boots. He's just going to get destroyed in these engagements. Food for the war machine that OG are constructing right now.
Who's what in the war machine? I guess you got your siege wagon. That would be the Venomancer.
We are all just cogs in a greater siege mechanics world.
Nice.
I was, of course, talking about the war machine of human despair, Cap, not an actual war machine. Don't have Pango.
Throw him away? That was weird.
I think they were expecting more people to be there.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. It's just level 5 Pango. I have Arcane Room. Okay. Easy cleanup. And all of a sudden, Bryle is snowballing this game. Prioritizing him was correct because not only did you shut down Pango, who has been very pesky in a lot of the matches, you're accelerating a Storm versatile lineup with not a lot of insta lockdown. You have a Wraith Fire Blast, which is not reliable for Storm, and your best stun is probably Boundless Strike. You got to be able to catch him in these engagements if you're Taiga.
I also think Storm Spirit's really annoying for Venomancer.
Oh yeah, it's terrible for that hero.
Gap closed, just instantly, jumps on you, disables you. You could potentially get 100 to 0'd. Even if you get him with poison, can't really do that much to him.
There's not much you can do in that matchup outside of just tank up. Buy some fluffy hats, buy a pipe, spam some voice lines, and you force an overcommittal.
At least DM has some quality voice lines to be able to spam. Is BZM trying to get off the Rolling Thunder, going to be tossed back into the Frostbite and dead. Kasane shows up, and hey, look at that. About a minute and a half to 2 minutes later than I would have expected. But of course, TSM showing up with 4 heroes in the mid lane, as is their MO.
The old quad lane mid. You know when they lost first game and got slapped in that 12 minutes, they had a big team talk. And Moon was like, hey, why don't we just do this to other people? Now they're doing it to OG. See if OG have a team talk about it at some point. We'll find Tomato on the return with the chase down. That's a pretty nice kill to get, but you lost your tier 1 mid. EZM has been killed twice, and he has been denied all the power runes here, as well as opportunities to use early Rolling Thunders. He hasn't gotten to interact at all in this game. Very rough start for BZM, who I feel like has been carrying OG in a lot of these games.
Yeah. And mid laners, they're just built different. And by that, I mean they have supports that heavily rotate and secure power runes for them.
Ah, yes, the classic tri-lane mid build different.
You know, it's funny because I feel like the NA mid laners are usually the one to complain the most about like wanting the 1v1 element of
it is true.
mid lane.
All I've heard for years is every NA mid, bring back 1v1 mid. What's all this nonsense with water runes and refills? And then the second they take like 20 damage mid, they're like, TP mid refill bottle, TP mid refill bottle. Pick one. You can't have it both ways.
It's 5 minutes and 10 seconds. They're just spamming the clock. Guys, power rune's coming up. Guys.
These guys be out here telling you to refill their bottle before they even have it. Like, free TP mid, it's coming. It's coming.
Grab a bounty rune at like 4.5 minutes in. They're like, bro, I was going to get that.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's literally happened to me.
Yes, I know. It happened to me too.
And Tomato's just going to smack Taiga here.
Oh, Kasane. Oh, no. That's actually really bad. Kasane takes the last hit. I think maybe Tomato might have died anyway. That was a little bit too much for him overall.
Yeah,
but
after the move speed wears out.
Yeah.
He's just getting galed in. DM's rushing Atos here. Let's talk about the limited stuns for Storm. This is something that can help you versus Storm in those early engagements. Still tank you up at the same time through the crowns. And give a little more lockdown for an OG lineup that kind of wants to help in gap closing. It's an old school Veno build. The damage is a lot lower, but you can always build it into Gleipnir later. And Gleipnir's going to be really good this game.
Do you think he's actually going to build into Gleipnir?
I mean, I'm saying like way in the late game. You know, I don't think he's going to go it early here.
Sure.
But it's not that Atos is no longer an item you have to build early and then just throw it in the trash after you're done with it.
Yeah.
You can actually scale it. So I kind of like this. If he gets it really fast, he's the most farmed hero in the game. So it's already flying out. This has got to be like the fastest Atos in all time. Certainly for the patch, because no one else has ever built it this patch.
Yeah. Gleipnir has kind of been put in the trash after TI.
We're watching a Veno Atos global speedrun.
And it arrives at 10:46.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Survey says 1 minute and 51 seconds faster.
It's pretty fast. Now you want to use it. Now you want to get involved in those fights. Maybe push this mid tower, get a skirmish going around there with some wards. Try and punish Bryle before he can get to any dispel, because he's going Witchblade after Falcon Blade on Storm. So the defensive items are going to be a long time coming for Bryle. If you can get a couple Atos punishes in there, you're going to feel really good about this pickup.
Oh, tried to swashbuckle away, got pulled back in before it completed. No chance in Rolling Thunder. Once again, TSM with this just overwhelming amount of damage when they jump on this Pango, thanks to, in part, Kasane's Wrath of Nature.
Yeah, the collapse has been really good on this mid lane for TSM.
Taiga?
Making those ults work. I was going to show. Oh, there's that Atos. Get Atos, son. Didn't expect that one.
He tossed him into the trash. the half-hearted chuckle.
I mean, I was gonna make a joke about who he saw down there in the trash, but I have enough enemies right now. I'm not gonna name anybody.
Might take a look in there again, Avery. Might find your career.
That wasn't even that funny, man. It was not even funny.
I found it funny.
Like one dude in Twitch chat was like, that Cap guy's hilarious.
That's my guy right there.
Yeah, your dad.
Thanks, Dad. No, my dad's not supportive enough.
Oh, that's not hard truth.
That's not even true.
This do you need some help, Cap? Is this a therapy session right now? Did you choke on your water? All right, Uragi's going Radiance here. You distracted us enough.
Oh, this time he gets off the Rolling Thunder. Oh, that was so close to him dying.
The Centaur stop.
Third time.
The RKO came out of the pit.
Oh, Ari. He gets a swashbuckle away, countered by another swashbuckle from BZM. Gets out the shield crash, but boy, does he die fast. Whitemon tried to get a free kill inside of the pit. A big boy clap from Roshan hits 3.
Damn, the creep's coming out in force today. I don't think BZM is too happy about how this game is going. Maybe the one upside is that Tomato's having a worse game. So the Pango's been shut down, but it has not been the Bloodseeker doing it. It's just been the mid clamps from TSM. And if we're looking,
He is. The difference between his net worth and Wraith King's, and this is before the Radiance is even completed. Once the Radiance is there, then he's just going to start doubling up on that net worth lead that he already has over Tomato. Bye-bye, BZM.
Kasane tag team.
Yeah, seriously.
They've been throwing BZM off the top rope. Giving him the old... He's in a rough spot. Can he get found again?
He is indeed.
Locked
down by the Wrath of Nature.
God.
It's like Kasane's just holding it until BZM shows on the map somewhere.
I will say, he has gotten some good RNG hits on Pango every time.
True.
Those are brutal amounts of damage.
I guess the really rough part is I always found that the Pango versus Bloodseeker matchup, I always felt like it wasn't the most terrible thing in the world if I was pretty high up there on the network chart. Especially nowadays, because you have shard, so you get ruptured, you shard, use the roll up to either stop your roll or to be able to dodge the blood right hit. You could play a lot more around Swashbuckle, especially if you get Basher. Just fight the Bloodseeker. Kasane is going to be caught. This is a big kill, and they will be able to finish him off. Jumping away into the trees is Ari. Oh, he actually didn't make it into the trees. Oh, he swashbuckled. Never mind. Now he gets it, but he's not going to be able to use it.
Yuragi shows up with that blink in hand and immediately nails 2 to the board. This is the time to get the Wraith King involved. He can take over the game right now. You don't have much to man fight him here, let alone take away 2 lives. Not easy poke from TSM. There's no mana burn. He's going to have to deal with it the hard way. Probably push towards BKB on Tomato and maybe even BKB on your Furion in order to take those longer engagements. This is the window where OG want to strike and get BZM back in the game too. Your Pango's been struggling, but if you win a couple team fights here, you've seen this hero come back at rapid speed. Especially if he gets a Brigand's Blade.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought they were going to smoke up. Oh, they are going to smoke up. Oh, no. Nice ward from Taiga. Very deep one. The smoke's going to break. He's going to try and get away, but is going to be caught. So at least they get something for a broken smoke. See what Ari finds as he makes his way through the trees. Spotted by a ward, but it jumps down. BCM does get caught. And he can get close enough, I think, for the telekinesis chain stun. The swashbuckle, a little bit more damage. He gets off the rolling thunder, but the physical damage finishes him off still. DM does commit the Nova, and Bryle cannot TP out. So it's going to be a little close, but I think the Poison Sting is going to wear out just in time. He dodges a little bit, but it's not enough. The last, 1 or 2 ticks got him.
Toxicity.
Are you a Venomancer player?
I love this hero.
Yuragi claims another scalp.
I love all the bad heroes in Dota, because then when you play them and your game is rough, you can just be like, so what, guys, I'm playing Veno, you know?
Yeah, I noticed that
not even
watching
meta.
Your stream. You just intentionally pick the most non-meta hero.
Imagine you go in a pub and you play Pango or Lesh for the 1,000th time, like certain mid players I'm not going to name. If you have a bad game, it's all on you. You just suck.
So you want to be able to have an excuse to guard your ego.
If I play,
I'm not washed up. This hero is bad.
Exactly. If I play Shadow Shaman or Veno or Lion or something and I have a rough game, it's like, what? It was the hero, it wasn't me. Nobody can make this work.
Taiga spots 2 of them. They are underneath a tier 2 tower, though. This is not the easiest go.
They're just going to get the first Wraith King life for free.
Do they have any lockdown to stop from blinking away? They got him. This was
not the move.
There was no way that OG is strong enough just to be diving past tier 2s like that.
Absolutely no way. Unless you're getting some 5-man boundless strike or something. It was a decent setup, but you have to remember that these Wraths of Nature have been destroying you in these engagements. And if your Veno's not there, your Veno's all your utility. He's your pipe. He's your Lotus Orb right now. DM's really strong, but you have to take the fights in a way where Veno can help you, which is static, stationary fights around objectives or vision. Now it's just neither. So all of that Veno network does nothing for you there behind a tier 2. And that's a big fight to throw.
He's building a lot of auras for his team. Lotus Orb, Pipe. Chu going to be spotted from the high ground Ari.
Mech Glimmer. Neither getting off there in a single pull burst.
BZM got to be careful with jumping out so far. Don't want to be ruptured and overextended at the same time. Is going to be working towards that Lincoln's.
Lotus pull.
Lotus pull back there. The boundless strike afterwards, but they don't really have anything to follow that up. The Bloodseeker left the lane. I don't know if TSM saw him at top, but
they were definitely going to go there regardless.
Yeah.
But BZM leaving doesn't do OG any favors. And Bryle almost took out.
He almost died. Okay, he does get one.
The thing is, Bryle had regenerate. So Tomato's going to heal off creeps. Bryle's going to regen up on mid. Doesn't cost TSM anything here, even off that good Veno ulti. EKB finish for Iragi. This has to be go time. You got to get some good fight around the Roshan area for Iragi right now so you can transfer it into the earlier ages. Bryle's just having a field day. 9-1 on Storm.
Great performance. What a great bounce back for him, too, after a really rough loss to Game of Gladiators.
I mean, he gave BZM the treatment that Quinn gave him.
Yeah.
Passing along the message. Now you know how it feels.
Yeah. Shit rolls downhill.
And this is the BKB Wraith King smoke.
Oh, that was not the boundless strike. That is the boundless strike from Taiga, though. It's a really nice one. The Wrath of Danger with the blood right on top of it. That could combo really nicely. 4 heroes silenced. Thankfully, the Wukong's command kind of helps cover them. Kasane, he does have BKB, so OG can't really commit for that kill.
That looked pretty.
It looked a pretty picture indeed. That's all it was.
You have Lincolns up on BZM now, too. So if you're TSM, you got to think about popping this. If you don't just hit it with a random spell in the engagement, so you can open up that rupture. This is that big Wraith King jump that OG have been looking for. They don't get a core off this play, but they're at least able to sustain through this turnaround, which is a good sign for them. If you're looking for these 5-on-5s.
A little bit of a reset. These teams going to keep smashing into each other. Whichever team breaks is going to lose out on the first Aegis of the game. Looking for that opening. This BKB on Uragi you talked about.
TSM have 2 of their 3. I don't even know if Bryle's going to go for one this game. He just wants Sange and Kaya try and tank up the other way. Taiga scouting from the tree line. Deep. Doesn't have any immediate follow-up, though.
I love his warding placement. It's always in areas that are just not going to be sentryed. Granted, it doesn't give the greatest vision.
Oh, look at this. Sitting on top of Bryle.
The Rod of Atos and the Wraithfire Blast. Man, he is tanky, though.
Nether Shawl.
2200 HP plus a Nether Shawl, you're right.
Little things make the... I mean, this is a good Nether Shawl game. Just got a lot of extra armor, too.
Yeah, that Storm Spirit has naturally very high armor, so I guess it's a hero that takes really good advantage of Nether Shawl.
We'll find the Wolf. By the tier 2. Is this enough to open up Roche? That's the big question here for OG. They're getting these support pickoffs, but they haven't been able to get the bigger objective that this timing really wants to play for when you can force that fight into Veno around the pit. That's where this hero thrives.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of poke, though. I mean, Storm Spirit can zip through.
You can steal it, too.
Bloodright gives good vision inside of the pit with the Wrath of Nature following it up.
You got to force it soon, though. When you have Wukong, Venomancer, Pangolier, it's just so good for you to fight around these choke points.
Bloodright checks inside the pit. Doesn't see anybody from OG, really. And they back away from mid as a result. So that was actually a pretty important bit of information. Head right back to it But while they're stalled out, Kasane is really owning the map. Both the side lanes are really, really pushed in. Tremendous amount of pressure on the sides of the map. OG have to go contend with that, and it's TSM who used this opportunity. Push out.
I think their call was that this bottom tier 2 for OG is getting pushed so hard, someone's going to show there, and they're making a quick smoke off of that vision read. It's your Ragi showing bottom. This is not the hero you want out of the fight if you're OG. We're all going to try and take advantage.
So confident to take this fight. Find you. Taiga responds here. Getting the Wukong command out. They do have a Rolling Thunder. Tomato countering PCM. PCM stuck in this awkward position. Tries to go for the kill on the Rubik. Not quite good enough for a really good Nova, though. That's going to hit several heroes, but can they push through it?
He's a heal.
Manta gets off the slow. Your Tomato runs down the Venomancer pretty easily. Ari tries to get away from Uragi. Not able to get there. BKB blink out. Uragi keeps his second life intact for now. Yeah, I don't think they would have died for this one. A little bit too low after the Nova hit them.
That's a very close fight.
It was.
Like, I almost think Uragi could have maybe gone back in there at the end. They are really low on TSM side. That Veno doing work. And she was probably the best target that OG have for TSM to go on. Because he's not going to die fast. He's just going to bait out a huge amount of Stormer's mana. Do you get the ult on the Pangolier? It's going to slow things down a lot. And the BKB's timings here for TSM really strong. Allowing him to commit through so much of this magic damage.
Frostbite. Taiga stuck up on the high ground. Bryle will gladly join him there.
He dodged that swashbuckle, so keeps this regen rune active. Pretty important here.
Yeah, very important if you want to be able to get this Roshan.
This is not a Rosh you want to give up if you're OG.
He just picked up an AC on Uragi. That is a really big item. He can jump into this fight and be very tough to bring down in that first life, especially with that BKB, but just not going to get to the pit in time.
Just outplaying OG on the map right now. That'll be an Aegis for Bryle. That's huge. There's not a lot to stop this Storm outputting his damage on you in the fight, even going for the early shard just for more overload procs. Now you got to do it twice. And you just play so aggressive. Gleipnir done for Kasane as well. There's a lot of roots going through. You only have that one BKB. What the hell? Is that real? That can't be real.
That is why they are actually still up in net worth. I was about to say, I was like, how is this net worth still so even? Well, when you
that is an insane amount of difference for a game that's felt pretty even. I guess OG just controlling both jungles for most of the game.
Yeah, and Taiga's probably a big factor in that. He's able to play inside the enemy jungle constantly, getting vision. Probably has taken a number of bounty runes for himself.
The bounty gods.
It's crazy how much those bounty runes add up. I mean, it's only 30 minutes in.
OG wishes they had a few more of them right now. So we'll finish up Basher for Taiga. He's been trying to get there for a long time. Could be a pretty pivotal item if he can land a clutch bash on one of these cores in the fight. Unconventional first item on Monkey. Which is why even at 30 minutes, it's still faster than the average. I like the idea. It's just the buildup is a bit slow, which feels bad. And then you have to land it, right? If you just don't land the bash, it's a non-impact item. So maybe sacrifice some of those bounty runes to the RNG gods. And they'll show you some favor. Outpost open for OG. Do they want to defend their tier 2? 2.5 minutes on this Aegis. They're smoking up here. Yeah, they don't want to give up the parity in the outpost control. Got to jump somebody outside of Storm.
Tomato would be Really good catch if they could just chain disable him.
We're so close to finding him here.
That would allow BZM to have a lot more free of a team fight.
Bob's placed by Taiga. They see Tomato coming back top. They left the area. Now they have to re-smoke to get here a second time.
Yeah, the cores are trying to scramble to get back in position.
I think he stayed too long.
Tomato spotted. Manta, BKB. Oh, he dodges the initiation. It immediately TP's
He can get bashed. He can get bashed.
He could,
Bash.
but he didn't. They do get Ari.
That was like heads-up play by DM, though, to Lotus Taiga off the route so you can maybe get that bash. That was very fast.
Oh, yeah.
Nice little gimmick to try and get that big core kill. Tomato will escape. This is still Aegis time running down for TSM. They did not get a fight out of Storm Aegis here. And I think OG are very happy with that, as BZM just continues to catch up in this game. I mean, he's 4-9 to Bryle's 10-1, and he's the same net worth. In fact, he's ahead of him. That shows you the power of bounty runes, I guess.
Yeah,
there's nothing else.
What?
He has less CS too. Make sure you pick up those bounty runes, kids.
Ah, got him. Ryle on point. Zips right through the tree Taiga was resting on. Okay, 4 versus 5. Let's see if they can get that tier 2 and take the outpost. Or if OG are going to fight.
I mean, you only have 30 seconds of Aegis left here. Ryle's also approaching a Lincoln's of his own to make locking him down even harder.
I'm really surprised that the Monkey King, like, it's a 6 versus 4, but they don't feel confident enough to take this tier 2 or take a team fight around it.
It's hard to dive this team deep. Sure, the Storm can jump and you can go in and you can throw Wrath of Nature, maybe Kasane commits, but the rest of the team doesn't have the ability to commit in there and not get punished by Veno wards, by Wraith King coming back a second time. Suddenly you're stuck in a Wukong and Pango can roll in. It's a lot of counter initiation on this OG lineup. I'm going to try and keep Kasane in here.
Oh, he almost chain bashed him into the Rolling Thunder. Looks like the bashes may still get the kill, though. Kasane just can't get out of this.
That's where the basher feels great. And these pickoffs on the sidelings, of course, can't BKB TP out. Doing wonders. DM trying to bait, maybe bit off more than he can chew.
Speaking of bash, Ogre Steel Totem, DM only gets so far away, but now he's just pulled the Bloodseeker into a fight. They may not be able to survive through. Manta goes off. Pull back in, tries to get the quick kill onto Taiga and get out.
And Bryle is showing up this game, level 21. Even when his team is in shambles, getting run on the map, still finding the kills.
Please, somebody go get that Radiant Bounty rune. Please. That production element that shows like OG, like there was one time where TSM got the bounty rune. Every other time it was OG getting both of them. Yeah, what was it? So 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Oh, wait, what? 20? What is that? 27? Confused. Oh,
don't worry about it there.
Sorry. I went 5-minute bounty runes. I went back in time 3 years or something.
Don't worry about it there, old man. We're all here for you. Make sure to take your medication. It's over there on the table.
My day. Ari, what is Ari doing here?
Playing some wards. Getting some vision, setting up on a side lane. Fearon can TP in for these kills. Does a lot of damage. Find a random support. Just an insta free kill.
Okay.
If you don't want a 5v5, you got to make something happen on the map, or at least set up opportunities. Exactly what he's looking for is TSM are also looking for a top on this cliff ward.
They got 2 bounty runes in the Radiant jungle.
That's 1,000 gold. Adding to the lead as Yuragi just walks in here, says, "What's up? You want some of this?"
No.
Neil.
Nobody wants that smoke.
Wukong in the back. Tomado's just going to walk out, though.
Uh-oh. He's going to get comboed. Rolling Thunder hits him again. Force staff, but he couldn't get the zip off.
Awkward
dear.
engagement for TSM. Fighting near that cliffside. It's giving BZM that guaranteed chain stun. Remember, this is Lincoln Storm, not BKB. Fighting in these choke points for Pango is not your friend. You want to do it in the open where you have a clean storm jump. Somehow that Yuragi walk-in worked. He walked in the store, said anybody home, and they said, Storm Spirit, half off.
Actually, I think it was free.
DM will not be in time. Atos. Wait, on as he gets out.
Cut a
TSM
wave.
splitting the map.
Wraith Pact.
I can see it. It'll help win the man fight.
Yeah.
With the Wraith King, with the Monkey. It's a lot of life steal and extra armor going into these heroes. Seems okay. I'll try and protect his wards here by planting his other wards. Atos and the poke going out. This poke is a lot stronger than it used to be.
Trying to hide in the invisibility of the Shadow Amulet.
Oh, it cliffed himself.
Did cliff himself. He brings himself back down, though. Inko's got a lot of that mobility.
He's just full slotted now. I feel like BZM has had an awful game, and somehow he's still so farmed and in a position to just destroy these fights. Lincoln's, Hags, BK, Basher, Blink. It's all those bounty runes. It really is.
Mindbreaker. Ugh.
Even extra on top. You need good ruptures now. It's not enough to just casually throw this out on a support. I think you need the Pango, or can't get the Pango. Maybe Veno's enough. You can burst him in the fight. But Bryle cannot carry you like he was in this early game. Running out of damage.
Yeah, he's just not going to be able to keep up with the Pango farm.
Also, Chu has quietly just farmed a full Greaves on top of that Glimmer Mech that we saw earlier.
Wow.
That's a lot of sustain in this lineup now. TSM do not like sustain. Number one, you're draining Storm's mana on the jump-ins, but number two, you're depowering the Bloodseeker.
Yeah.
So TSM need to get OG low. They need to keep him there to get this extended fight in their favor. The more sustain that comes out for OG, the better these fights are going to look. And they can just group up and play the ball game.
Thank you. Thank you. I was actually thinking about the bounty runes. Oh, they got the initiation. Oh, and they hit him after the force staff anyway.
Got out.
Zip, 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 though. Okay. You're going to be able to reset a little bit here. Got to be careful of that latent toxicity. It might be able to catch somebody when they pop their BKB.
That might be enough for you to just burst them.
Yeah.
No Abyssal on Yuragi. He opted for Bloodthorn. That single target burst is severe. Just got to be able to land the stuns.
They are going to zip on Taiga. They don't quite get him right away. And now Bryle doesn't have the most mana for this Roshan fight, which Whitemon almost actually got the last hit with that Frost Nova.
This is going to be a chase from OG.
Oh, 100%.
You can rupture the Pango, but he's got Aegis.
Papa to BKB going for BZM and will be able to get that first life. But the BKB is going to wear thin, and they got to just get out of here.
Toxicity.
The bashes, hard time. The latent toxicity prevents Kasane from doing anything for the first couple of seconds of that BKB. And now, well, he's got a Manta. Oh, hit by the Boundless Strike immediately afterwards. They're going to keep chasing after him with this Rolling Thunder. And that is going to be the first time Tomato's died in quite some time. And they get Kasane. All of a sudden, this game is just kind of looking over.
Daylight OG farm. And OG out-farmed him for sure. Or should I say out-ruined him. It's a 6k gold difference is going to the runes. Too much EHP on OG side. Bryle can't get the job done. Your Bloodseeker kills Pango once, but he just lets him come back. And Yuragi they're not even close to touching Wraith King. He's got Swift Blink, Flicker online. He wants thrown. He says, team, what are you doing right now? Okay, I'll go to you. I'll go to you. The disciplined call here.
I might as well get the second lane of barracks before going back for the tier 4s. And hey, I got a Storm Spirit for it too. Okay. 3 versus 5 with a buyback. Has to come out from the Storm Spirit. He's going to zip back and forth, do what damage he can. Not very much because of the pipe. And OG, they are going to back away and go for... Nope. Groggy's back into it. But now Kasane's up.
Oh, it's just melting.
Thrown half health. Some way to be able to stop this. Whitemon gets his freezing field canceled. They just cannot put out the damage to get this team away from their ancient. It's going to fall. And there's nothing TSM can do to stop it.
Maybe a sigh of relief that finally gaining some momentum back in this tournament. As OG have been struggling, but they strike back here with a Veno win for a DM. Slurping it up. Shu talking about how much heal he did that game as Yuragi says, yeah, sure, bro. I mean, I slept.
ăn không à ngoài ơi biết bây giờ rồi ngoài do lên nông tự lấy nhà mũi sân đi phơi mũi rồi nông việc phơi nó thông nó còn hôn thông mà bây giờ bây giờ rồi ngoài luôn mà ngoài luôn đọc pi mơ ngoài đang thì vô đọc pi mơ ngoài bèo cái trời đặt bơ đi đặt làm một cái sân đi phơi mũi ở chân nào cái ôn chứ thì mi công thẻ bông thì mi công thẻ với bông ấy công thẻ bôi bia giờ bây bài là vừa đi phơi muối này nhưng thọt đăng pu nhóm á thấy cái miền môi trời cái thằng lại tiền mà có cái video kia rồi mà ra ngoài lúc đọc pi mới ngoài giờ đọc pi mới tới còn mà đi lộ má thường video bỏ bia nhớ thế này thấy vì miền công thẻ bằng lọt ngoài anh chưa mua pha của nó mà mai nó thư ca sẽ đi phơi muối nữa mặc dù lên những tới tây từ viên đó ở vì màu đặt plan luôn bộ ai được nó website sẽ dùng bên muối bạn lối lươn hái bạc lọt tiền đấy biết là cô biết hơn thì chắc mà nãy mấy chân đi phơi muối còn một xây tiền thì tới cụ chén nó cứ đai chân mòn bộ anh do ta xin đi phơi muối nó bài cái công thẻ mùi bia ấy á thì mình công thẻ mình ấy chỉ lọt cho năm cái má cơ má chứ á cái chu lục bọn anh hột đấy cái đặt la bàn là bảo bì mùi xây đạn bàn này nó không thẻ bảo bì á bà không hôn tôi ngoài quá lưu ý của bà bữa sân gì phê muối dừng đi dừng bị bàn đôi luôn đấy cái đặt la bóc cái kêu mà đây cái sell property chẳng tới mua sell property cái việc nó đặt la chỉ muốn chất bông hoa một ngày thấy cái miền website vào cái miền website thì nó hay vào cái thông á cái chuyên website luôn một ngày nó sẽ xin đi phơi muối là nhầm đăng cho bạn không mà nó bỏ bòi đang của trên cái bình thường tình chân này cái bòi trăm của tôi sao có bòi trên không một ngày thế bòi cái tha lũ bạch xuống mà ta lũ tao cô nó lươn lươn mà đang mang chung lại để cho để cho khi tao mới cắt con hơn ao hay cắt đặt buồn quan thì này đạo tam cô ở nó lươn bài xua với con này cái bà sân cái phải môi đôi khi đạo cái này bài trăm biếng máu thế cô viên nó đang ở tầng chân bà đấy cái mình mê cái công thẻ bây giờ rồi nó quay lúc ban của bia tôi bây bông anh lúc này nạp lại lúc này nó cô bông anh thử ao chuyện tôi lại ta xin lý phê mũi ở đây vì chúng không thẻ đồng tử á phù nhóm quan lũ tiền nơi nơi thông ạ 20,000 cái công thẻ biết pi năm biết đo năm đi trong lúc tao pi ná vì ở đằng đấy vì đằng tới giờ lối ở đây gọi sang mơ sẵn thích một phần con này bởi vì mình mối với người ta dệt lại về ao giờ ngoài chơi được thoát đấy mình đưa vào dương như thế này cỡ tha mưa mua tầm tới không người ta tua lôi thế công thế ấy tới ôi nó bốn cái nó dương không luôn nó mới tay ngay con nó đó chặt ngoài lên trong cơ ấy thì mình thử muối cái quả chết này đây là xem đi phơi muối à lấy một cái xua mới một con thôn này kia chẳng đâu rồi 9ច្រើនណាស់ទៅខ្មែរវាយដល់បាត់ផ្លាមកផ្ទះវាទេមកថ្ងៃរាល់ថ្ងៃតែមកវាឆាតវិញវាយដល់លើ Facebook ខុសលួមកមកពីណាមកលឿនផងពេលមួយហ្នឹង
Snapfire is also a super flex hero.
I'm very worried about OG because this low skill Terrorblade. Many a time I used to spam Viper and I lost many games to Terrorblade, so I really need to see Resolution putting this pressure on. It's a fun hero, free him on, mate.
No, don't tell me Viper's fun, bro. Come
Viper's
on,
really
man. That's cap.
It's so much fun. Let's go.
Nah, you guys are
these heroes. You know, we're gonna see in this game how much fun Resolution's gonna have on this offlane Viper. Does also mean that Sweden Strong will be playing the position for Monkey King. And one thing I love about this is more and more I become Dota. You have to have a team that provides. If these squads have one team has Nick.
Ganks, but it's going to be hard for them to try and figure out the numbers coming in from old G. Like Thompson can always gank from Fog. No one can always TP. Nyx Assassin's going to be invisible, so it's going to be hard for them to actually get a good gauge about the numbers and where they're playing on the map. So if PuckChamp overextend and put not enough heroes into a certain area and they get overwhelmed by old G, then this game can really start to snowball for them. But as James Vincenzo said, like as soon as this game starts to get too later into the game, PuckChamp can really just outscale them, and then it becomes very hard for old G to finish this one out.
If that does start to happen, JMN, and they do start to outscale on the side of PuckChamp, is there anything they can do on OG once the late game starts to hit to actually fight back up against this uber strong TB with the backup of DK? Or we'll see maybe a small fight. No, just a small fight. It's fine.
I mean, that's the good thing about the Disruptor. There's a reason it's first pick. The ult is completely crazy with Aghanims. So you always have this late game out where Disruptor gets an Aghanims, gets a blink on top maybe, and just destroys the enemy, like most farmed hero. And they don't really have a counterplay against it. They don't have a Rubik on PuckChamp who can lift outside of the Static Storm. So the Disruptor can win the late game. And they can also split push with the NP. NP is a very annoying hero to close out the games against. And when the game goes ultra late, I think OG can still do it. So there's going to be like a timing when TB hits his like 4, 5, 6 slots, where it's going to be really hard for OG. But if it gets later, if the Disruptor gets his Ags, they can also turn it around, even like ultra late.
Horn does sound. Don't think any of these squads are going to be picking up more than their normal share of bounties. But I say that, but they're actually abandoning the one on bottom. So OG, they're going to get 3 out of this. Snapfire did not want to contest. Oh no, OG off to a decent spot now with bonus gold in the back pocket.
You were talking about, the 3 bounties is like kind of like the kiss of death for some of these teams. So, I mean, we broke that curse last game, so it might not carry on this time around. Snare, you told me that you're the Viper aficionado. Is Nosedive still good? I feel like it's pretty good this game, but is it actually an ability?
It is actually an ability. Honestly, I
Okay.
I didn't find it. It was always weird. The amount of trash people spoke about that spell. You have like when you initiate with nosedive and you can come up with BKB, it's not bad in the middle of the fight. It's pretty good. So
Also, it's good for sure. Like I'm kind of a Viper enjoyer myself. I played with mobile. I think the biggest Viper enjoyer there is, and he always goes for X Rush. So
Yeah.
it's a good item.
it's one of those items.
Don't
The faster
tell me
you get it,
about
the
that.
better it feels. Dude, it's actually really good. Like, everyone at home, please, like, rush Ags on this Viper. Trust me, it's pretty good.
Mobe's one of my favorite mid laners here in the division, and you guys just tell me he's a Viper enjoyer. I'm like,
Yeah, of course.
come on,
Of
man.
course.
Mid lane. I don't think Laurenov is enjoying the mid lane right now, as he's experiencing some pressure from Thompson. He should be fine though. It is DK. He'll hit level 3 soon, and then nothing changes. All right, can we agree this is going to be one of the most boring mid lanes ever? Primal Beast versus DK? Nothing happened.
It's Thompson, baby. Thompson's going to try and find a way to make it entertaining. If it's him diving underneath the tier 2 tower or, him getting 1v3'd, it'll be entertaining at some point.
I think the matchup's actually kind of boring in itself, but what Thompson can do is he can push up the wave. Laurenov cannot really contest his outpush, and then he can go to a rune, go to a side lane, and that's where the action comes from. Right?
I think a lot of this action might also come from the fact that because Mirana's playing top, she can't leave to help you out in the mid lane, so just going to be a nice 1v1. Down bottom, Lays and Sweet and Strong. We're tanking a little bit of pressure. And we saw in the previous game that we had an off-lane Snapfire. Didn't necessarily succeed too much. J-Man, what do you think is needed? Because I know Fluke's not a fan of these more core Snapfires. What do you think is needed to help ensure that this hero actually has a presence past the laning phase when she's played as a core?
So there's like multiple builds right now, but the most normal build, I'd say, is the classic Greaves build, where you could just go auras, the generic aura buyer. The Greaves, Pipe, Crimson, whatever your team really needs, you can buy. That's the good thing about this hero, because the kit is very flexible. You always have a stun, you always have a lot of magic damage. So going these aura items is probably the best thing they can do, and it also really boosts their 5-man death wall teamfight, where they got the Greaves, they got the Pipe, and the big TB sitting there with the auras, just killing OG. That's probably what they want to do.
See how it pans out this game, of course. That does mean that low skill needs to have a favorable time early on. And one of the best things about Viper is how miserable it makes the carries. Game is hard.
He's doing okay. He's 10-2 right now up against the 14-5. This is kind of going to be the nature of the lane. Once Viper starts getting a lot more levels, low skill's just going to get to a point where he just has a couple of levels in Conjure Image. Probably he'll just go like 1-2-2, and then he'll just fall back into the jungle, and they'll just leave like Eki in this top lane to be trying unkillable. But First Blood is going to go bottom. The top to rotation at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. What a Chad.
Yep.
Who needs Pulverize? 2 points into Trample, 1 into Onslaught. Good enough. Who sees this coming? How are you supposed to defend against this? What the hell?
Yeah,
And this is actually so genius. This is before he has even level 6 middle here, J-Man. So there's no counterplay with the Dragon Ultimate onto the tower.
No way. That's the Primal Classic. Primal, one of the earliest roamers. Why? Because he's very mobile and he likes to take the bounty on 3. So what this hero does is push out the wave. DK cannot really contest the outpush because...
Terribly's dead. Terribly's actually going to die.
Oh no.
This is his life. This is why we pick Viper here, Fluke. Get these kills on the TB early.
Yeah, so it's the bounty rune, and Primal can easily contest like the bounty rune and go for a kill after that because he doesn't need anything. Like just 1 point in Q and you're fine.
Yeah. Oh no. Unfortunately, Fluke, his counterparts in the DK doesn't necessarily have this easy rotation option until you have a Blink Dagger, so you can't even go top to try and assist the TB in recovering his own game here.
Yeah, I think Laurenov is probably just going to be saying, okay, Thompson's going to make these rotations. I'm just going to try and be as greedy as I can and just try and farm up. I'd imagine this might be a Midas game for him, considering they feel like they're going to have this good timing with the TB once he gets like that 3-4 item slot, especially if he keeps getting given the lane that he has so far. So I think if he gets off to a good start, you can probably just go like Midas treads into like a Blink Dagger and then try and do some stuff. But you may also just get to a point where you've gotten a Midas and then you realize that you don't actually have a counterplay and you could just kind of get run over early on.
That's always a difficult decision. Do I go Midas to make sure I can scale through the game? Or do I go Blink BKB so I can cover the game whilst my carry is farming? Right now, TB needs a little bit of help. On the other side, though, looks like no one doesn't need any help. He's chilling, man. Look how many denies he has. 18 denies. He has almost as many denies. He has more denies than the Snapfire has CS at this moment. That's not where you want to be as Lays in the offlane.
All of those could be treants, to be fair. So they might not be the most impactful of denies, but the fact that he's dominating the lane that he is right now and probably going to get a kill too.
Yeah, they try to dissuade them from getting the kill with the fire snap cookie, hoping for the stun. Kidtrack, oh, what? That's Monkey King range hero hitting you out inside Sprout. All right, fair and balanced here, JMN. I don't want to see anything changed in the next patch.
No, this here is fine, like absolutely fine.
I like how you guys spent like 2 minutes trying to tell me that Viper's a fun hero, then you complain about Monkey King hitting you from like 400 lanes away.
It is what it is.
Oh no, Monkey King's about to get a kill down bottom. Nice play from no one. He does the fire snap quick. He should still end up losing his life though. The question is, do they get revenge onto Lays? And it seems that will be the case as they find him with the Thunderstrike. And Kidtrack has Glimpse. Should find Sweden Strong as well. 2 kills happening in the bottom lane. And the Disruptor being the prime beneficiary of both. Getting a massive experience at the same time.
Dude, this guy is a carry now. Look at his level. He's level 5. He'll have static storm on minute 8. That's going to be a good game for him.
I was going to ask because obviously, Jay Vincenzo, you're the 5 player for Ivy as well. So if you have a good start like this and you get this level 6 early on, do you just like say, all right, no one, I'm going to leave you to a bit and I'm going to go rotate somewhere else with this like super early big ultimate?
Yeah, I mean, Disruptor is like one of the prime heroes who can really abuse the fact that you have early level 6 because your static storm is so good and your Glimpse also like is able to make plays. So you're able to like make plays on your own. So you just buy a smoke with your 6 and gang enemy carry or enemy mid laner. This hero can just do it. That's why it's first pick.
Disruptor, best support in the game right now, I think. And getting some boots flying in on top of him. We'll see if he decides to make any big movements on the map. Close to level 6, of course. And middle, looks like they've zoned away the Nyx Assassin, and Thompson isn't here. So the tier 1 tower should be falling low with the dragon form of Laranov. We do see that Thompson's just jungling away, finishing some items. Mid lane, they're going to come back with the Viper here. Resolution. They have enough damage to kill Laranov because of this break. And they keep him in place right now with the Impale from the Nyx. Seb making sure that there's no running away for this Dragon Knight. And of course, they have the Glimpse available. Kidtrack didn't want to tip the kill, but of course he gets it. Carry Disruptor, boys. You see it here first.
Yeah, he's got the 6 already now, and you saw how to play against DK, right? They perfectly executed how you play against DK. You gang him in his dragon form.
We're looking to try and kill this Terrorblade. They have scouted him out, but Seb is not level 6, so he can't do the invis scouting. And indeed, that was wasted dragon form as well. They protect the tower at the same time. And they're not done just yet. Look at this, boys. They smoke up both of these 2 supports. You want to use the level 6 somewhere. The prime target right now is Lays on the Snapfire, who still is not 6 himself. So if he gets caught out here, he certainly will die. But they're going back for the Terrorblade. They really want low skill. Here comes Thompson with the onslaught. They've scouted him out. Where is Kidtrack? Where is the Glimpse? Impale will land. No one TP's in as well. They have more than enough damage to get this kill. They even drop Static Storm for good measure. Sweden Strong shows up. 2 heroes get caught with the Boundless Strike, and they cancel out the Morty's Kisses thanks to this young Spike Carapace. Although it will cost both of these supporters' lives as they get brought down. However, objective complete. We killed low skill. We forced 5 heroes to be inside the dire triangle. We just get to keep on farming.
I love watching old G games. Like, it's 9 minutes in, they're like deep into a triangle. There's like been 35 kills already. Like, I just love the way these guys play, and no one's going to go down as well, it seems.
Yep, last snap cookie on top of him. So PuckChamp recognizing that, wait a second, we still have 4 heroes around the triangle. Why don't we just commit all of them to kill no one? They do it wonderfully. They bring him down. This was a dragon form pop though, so they definitely have to take the tier 1 tower on top of this.
This is a good move, and I feel like every old G game is so clowny. Like, they always bring 4 or 5 heroes somewhere, they kill someone, and then it's like all hell breaks loose. You don't know what the hell is going on. I feel like this shouldn't work, but they want 2 TIs doing this, so I guess it has to work.
They're gonna try going to Thompson now as well, though. Onslaught will come out. The trample will be good. They're actually gonna be able to kill the Monkey King. Boundless Strike will be there to just stall him out. Oh, the Pulverize can't come out because the Dragon Tail stun. Interrupted. Monkey King still alive somehow for Sweden Strong. So they kill this Primal Beast. And Lorinov in danger though. Resolution and Seb. Oh no, they've kept him underneath the Nether Toxin. They dodge the arrow. Do they have the damage to kill him? Of course they do. It's a Viper. This hero's basically a carry. Kitrak utilizing his advanced levels to glimpse back Lays into an awkward position. They grant Resolution the double. And this is 10 and 6. Somehow throughout all of this, towers have not been falling bottom. But this young no one Nature's Prophet had just gone top, start pushing onto the tier 2.
Bro, Kitrak is the same level as Lays in the offlane. Like, it's so big, man. Like, this is crazy. And it's good to see that PuckChamp are not shying away from some of these fights. They are punishing OG for the rotations, but yeah, like these guys have been doing this stuff for years now, and they are all about pedal to the metal. Like, they will go balls to the wall, and if it works out, yeah, they look sick. If it doesn't, hey, they don't care. They'll do it again for game number 2. So I like that PuckChamp are trying to get these fights going. They still just need to hold on until low skill can start getting these fights. And I think maybe once he gets like an item or two, maybe he can try and come to these fights that are really close to his towers and maybe try and get a kill or two. But he needs to make sure that he doesn't come to a fight too early and really start to throw the game away.
Yeah, man, one of the problems that we have with this game, though, for PuckChamp, although they are making their presence known in these engagements, firstly, they haven't been able to utilize this Dragon Form to actually get a tower, but the Snapfire is really starting to fall behind. Lowest in net worth of all the cores by quite some margin, not really progressing in the experience department either. What should they do? Like, really play safely anywhere on the map?
Yeah, so the lineup from OG is very oppressive right now. Like the global push, they have the super catch with the Disruptor, the NP pushes out the waves, the Nyx is always scouting. So the map is very dark, very scary, very small for PuckChamp. So all they can do really is find some kills and let their TB farm. Right now, if you're in their position, you've got to find kills. You've got to use the Snapfire ult, you've got to use the Boundless Strike setup. It's really scary for them. They have to make some plays, but it's really hard because all the waves are also pushed in, and you cannot really play Dota like that. The enemies will instantly know you're up to something.
Right now, we see them just forced to play inside their own jungle. Low skill, hugging this tier 2 tower. He's not dying, but he's also not farming in this time period. They need to try and do something. They will go in with the Moonlight Shadow. Kitrak has already dropped down a Sentry Ward, so they can't even aggress into him. This Disruptor is such a menace on the map, planting vision everywhere, making this game so much simpler for Old G to play. And he's going to TP out right on time as well. Just as Moonlight Shadow finishes, so he knows exactly where they're at. Dodges the gank. What a player Kitrak has been.
This is so depressing. Like, you're trying to gank the team that is like kind of running over you just because you want to try and get a little bit of this extra space back. They do get their triangle back, which is nice for PuckChamp, but would have loved to have gotten a kill there, especially on a Kitrak, because it's just a lot of experience that they get out of it. The goal might not be a lot, but it's all about the experience right now, so you can get these fights going and have a fight. But when you're trying so hard to get a lot of these fights going and things just aren't going your way, it really just feels like that nobody's going good for you.
All right, so get us down onto Kitrak. He did glimpse back sweet and strong, but he will die for this. Woo, that must be satisfying to kill Kitrak at this stage. Must feel good. No Disruptor on the map. Sadly though, German, if you look at this DK, he's in Elder Dragon form, so that's a full ultimate committed, and all you find is a Disruptor kill.
Yeah, it feels bad for sure. You wanna pressure the map, you wanna farm something, you don't just wanna kill a sub.
Nice spike carapace. 2 heroes being stunned up by that one. Not entirely sure what the Blink Dragon Tail was about. Showing dominance, I guess.
I mean, he's feeling pressured, right? That's the thing. If you play against OG, you always feel pressure to do some moves. They're pressuring you. You gotta like punch back somehow. You want to do something, and then you're like doing these jumps, who you probably wouldn't do against any other team, but OG or OG both are just forcing you to do these. Like, the game is just crazy. I don't know. It's weird.
Hard game so far for PuckChamp as OG. This time it's their time to smoke. Seb will be slightly scouted out because he's walking underneath some sentries right now. Not sure they caught the clean vision on him. They do see Eki. Ooh, Eki, my friend, you are very, 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 very dead.
Mirana against Disruptor doesn't feel good at all. Like you get the Q on yourself and you cannot leap out. You can use all your leaps. You will not get out against them. Nope.
They are going to try and find some... They were thinking about finding revenge onto Thompson, but Sweet and Strong... Oh, no. Oh, that was so close. He almost found himself getting stunned up, but does manage to escape. Unfortunately for them, though, because they see him TPing out, they can also give Resolution the heads up to just retreat from the top lane. So this map is not getting any bigger for them, Fluke. No matter what move they try, OG respond to it and are up to making sure they don't gain any map pressure or map control back from it.
Yeah, and this is all without no one being a part of their fights. In all the games that I've seen so far from OG, this is exactly what they do. They run around as 4 heroes, and then no one will come into a fight whenever he feels like that he can, help the team, or maybe he's like 1 or 2 items ahead, and really loves to just sit back and farm while his team creates so much space for him. He is starting to really streak ahead from Low Skill, who is about 2,000 gold behind him, so bit of a rough go. This is a good fight, though.
Good initiation. They find and kill Seb from the jump. Can they get more from this? We'll find ourselves with a Wukong's command. Kitrak losing a lot of his HP here, but they do not want to dive him. They actually throw in the Morty's kisses. Lays, can you land them all? They do not get off the Dragon Tail stun, but they don't need it. Breathe Fire with one final Morty's kiss helps to clean up the kill onto this Disruptor. There's a 2-0. Finally, PuckChamp gets something out of this. Incredibly, yet another pop on multiple ultimates. Wukong's Dragon Form as well as Morty's Kisses were utilized for that engagement. So they will not be available further for PuckChamp. Back to farming we go. Nothing changes on the map. Feels bad here.
I mean, TB is farming, but you see what OG is doing. They see TB has been farming for 30 seconds. We gotta run at him again.
Sorry.
He's getting kicked out of his jungle. Like, he has to farm. He can't farm. Like, he's really not hitting a single creep. That's very, very, very sad for him.
They might farm Resolution's life, though. Beautiful play. Low skill. Comes in with the Sunder to bring him low HP. Fine Resolution. The question is, can they get more? Lorinov has Blink, Dragon Tail. Not going to be able to find a big target. Will rather settle for Seb. Nice Quickie will follow up with the disable. But there is no desire from PuckChamp to really get involved for this fight. We do see an onslaught forward from Thompson. Trying to get himself out of here. Dragon Tail stun up in 1 second. They will be able to get around to him. No, they cannot. BKB will be there in time. Will still die from the right-click damage of Low Skill. Wrath of Nature, though, flying through, bringing Low Skill and Eki so low. But both of them haven't died just yet. Lorinov, I do not think, will be as lucky as no one. Picks up a triple kill. He's TPing forward. He really wanted to find this Terrorblade. Will settle for the Morana instead and get an Ultra kill for his efforts. They actually find the Sprout. They have vision on Sweet and Strong. He needs to run away before he gives up the Ultra and into the Mega. Rampage, rather, not Mega kill streak. Well, that's 4 heroes. That's easy. That's fun. That's OG Dota. 18 minutes in, we're getting an Ultra kill in the Dire Triangle despite playing from Radiant.
The fight actually it was very well executed by PuckChamp. The Spade, the Sunder, and Rezo was good, but it still wasn't enough.
I think
This is what happens when no one wants to join the fight, right? You can see that he has a lot of net worth, and as soon as he joins these fights, it becomes overwhelming for PuckChamp to play around with.
There's actually overwhelming damage. They go in and throw it onto the next assassin. 3 heroes inside of the Static Storm kinetic field combo. Monkey King dies inside his own Wukong's command. They do pop the Moonlight Shadow to deny the side of OG from progressing further in the fight. Limps back onto this NP, gets caught by the Sacred Arrow as well. So although they got Lorinov out of the mix, it won't be enough to protect no one. Okay, so they got Rezo bottom, they get Nature's Prophet here, they don't lose a tower. It's not great, but it's acceptable.
It's actually very good. Like, this is honestly the best thing they could do. Like, they killed the NP, 400 gold before his BKB, and now they can farm the jungle again. They can outpush top, they can outpush middle, they get some map space back. And this is how you gotta do. This is how you have to slowly build up the map again, get those lanes out, farm those cams, get your item timings. And OG, they just, like, that's a huge setback. They wanted to, like, go for the decisive strike with the BKB. Now the BKB is delayed a bit, and P is dead. Like, this delayed the game by like 2, 3, 4 minutes for OG, kind of. And PuckChamp is really, like, I mean, they're still behind, yes, but you gotta start somehow.
I think the biggest thing for PuckChamp as well is they still have all their T2 towers up. Like, maybe if we're looking at this game and the T2 towers are down and OG, just like knocking on Roshan, knocking on these Tier 3s, then I'm starting to get a little scared. But they have these Tier 2 towers, that mean they've got a little bit of map to play around with. And as you said, like, the NP kill was massive for them. Setting back no one on that BKB means that PuckChamp can get to a point where they're going to a few more items, and this Guardy timing is going to be pretty big from Low Skill, right? Like, he's going to be a lot tankier, harder to deal with. It's going to be hard for them to try and play around these fights with the slow coming in from all the supports, and it's a good shout here for PuckChamp.
Another one.
Very satisfying. Every time Kitrak dies, somebody on PugChamp gains a life back. Like, gains one more day of their lives extended.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
He's also like, he's not super poor, so that's good XP you get, and it's more space. And as Luke already said, the TB with the Scotty is actually a menace. Like, this no one, TB also, he died. He also went for the Gleipnir, so it's not like the ultra big boss late gamer. The Gleipnir is kind of the utility build. So, like, if Flo still gets some items, like, this can turn, even with a disadvantage in the network.
They're about to hit a triple BKB timing on the side of OG as Rezo rounding the corner towards his. No one's is finished. They're going to force a fight before that even happens, now that they have BKB available. No one was considering the forward-facing TP into the trees here, but Sweden strong on them. They scouted it out. They know what's happening. OG not going to force the issue just yet. At the same time, though, some lanes is being pushed out on bottom by the CB. Game is slowing down, which is not good for the side of OG, but they're going to try and force a fight right now. Every time it feels like I click on this DK, he has access, or he's just in Elder Dragon form. It's like he has ag or something. I don't know, man.
I mean, what you do on this hero, you don't really have the best farming tools. You have the Breathe Fire, but it's not great. So what most DK players do is they kind of pop it on cooldown to just get the farm speed, because the uptime is pretty good as anyways, so you're not missing out too much.
Eki is missing out on some life. They'd smoked up. Gone in with the Moonlight Shadow. Considered that maybe they can find a grab here. They don't find anything. Lana just dies. Fluke, this is 20... What was the long... We had a game the other day that a team still had all their tier 1s at like 28 minutes. Do you remember which game that was? I forget.
Trying to remember. I do remember what you were saying. Was it a secret PugChamp game?
Might have been. Maybe like game 2 or something.
Maybe. We've cast a lot of these series in Div 2 that sometimes they all just start to blur together, but I do remember what you're saying. That is one thing, but at the end of the day, like PugChamp, like they have heroes that are going to take towers, like Terrorblade as well as the Dragon Knight. If they get 1 to 2 of these team fight wins, even if it's just by 1 or 2 extra cores, like they're going to melt towers. So they're not all too worried about it. I think the biggest issue is they just don't have that much of the map to play around with, and that's why every single time that they lose a hero for PugChamp, things start to, they start to wince a little bit because they're like, okay, we're losing a bit more of this map control and it's hard for us to get it back.
They're going to get a kill onto Seb here. Should just be some free gold for them. Let's see if they want to fight this. No one actually TPs in. I don't know about this here. No one falling very, very low, losing a boatload of HP. He's about to die, and Lorinov ends up bringing him down with the splash attack. Get back in with the Thompson Primal Beast, but it's not going to be enough to ensure that they actually stop this no one NP from dying. Lorinov actually picks up a triple kill.
This the mid tower. This the mid tower. Look at bottom. Bottom also being outpushed top. Like they're getting so much gold now. And what happened? No one. He pressed his BKB slightly too late, got stunned, lost like 80% of his HP, and then he got finished through his magic immunity. And TB wasn't even really there. So, I mean, honestly, I'd be sweating if I were OG right now.
They don't decide to go and try force Roche, given that they don't have the full tools just yet, but a fight like that, they're hoping to maybe take the tier on top as well. It's not going to happen, but there's a massive wave coming in top. Yeah,
you just farm. You just farm. Like, these towers are a bonus. You don't farm. That's like the thing you get out of this. You get pleasure out of farming. That's why you farm after these team fights. And towers, you do that when you're giga strong. Farming is what you want to do right now as PugChamp. Because they don't need the towers. The towers will fall, as you said. They will fall anyways against DKTV. They're just dead if they have their items. So right now, they want to maximize their farm, minimize their deaths, and just get the most out of the map.
Yeah, maximizing farm, they've got everything.
Yeah, especially now that they're, like, you can feel that they're starting to outscale, right? Like, Lorinov has gotten to the point where he's feeling pretty strong. He almost has his BKB after getting that hand. Midas, low skill with the Skadi. He's like 1,400 gold away from his BKB. At that point, he can kind of walk in and really not have to worry about anything. Like, yeah, he's probably going to get Viper struck, but as long as he's not the one that gets caught out straight away, he should be okay to be able to pop that BKB, get under off, and feel good about these fights. So, OG... I'm never going to count them out with drafts like this because they can just, handily win a team fight 0 for 5. But they are definitely starting to sweat right now. They're feeling the pressure of this Terrorblade, and they need this Aegis to try and get this done.
Yeah, this is kind of like, right now they're still strong. They're so strong. Don't get me wrong. If they get the Aegis, they got another timing. But if they don't get the Aegis, or if they cannot use it, This game will be hairy for them.
PogChamp, they've smoked up. Even though the Aegis has fallen, Donna still try to force the fight. Seb, the first one caught out. Seb was gone. Sweden Strong is the only one caught inside the Static Storm. So they don't have that spell for the team fight either. Thompson inside BKB, but the Terrorblade tearing him apart with his newly bought Eye of Skadi, and they're going to find the kill. 2 heroes gone in exchange for the Monkey King, and they are still chasing. They're not going to be able to find the stun onto Resolution. Kidtrack, there in time for the glimpse, and TP's out before the Fire Snap quickly connects. But still, that's 2 heroes that you lost, a BKB charge, and that's right after you're the ones that...
They go for Rose, but still, like you saw, PogChamp, no fear at all. They're just fighting in, and look at Seb. Like he died like one crit, one hit was it or what? Like Seb is just food right now. Like it's like I'm gonna make a bold call, but if we see the big black dragon coming out for PogChamp, this game is over.
Oh, okay. So you're feeling like the Ags is just too hard for them to try and deal with because it gives them like that extra bit of damage on the side of PogChamp,
yeah,
right?
I think like if they get another round of items without losing significant net worth, like if they're going 50-50 and he gets up to this items on DK, TB also gets +1, I think it's over.
Looks like Laze is in trouble here. Have been told that Snare did just have a power outage, so we'll wait until he gets himself back in towards this game. And unfortunately for Laze, he's got a few seconds to sit back and see what mistakes he did make. Yep, rest in peace, Snare.
Unlucky. Yeah.
Knowing his luck, it's going to be like the most intense, like 20 minutes of Dota career. Seb caught out once again.
Holy moly!
He gets taken down.
There was a good reaction time on the carapace, but not enough.
No one found Sweden Strong in the trees. Was able to cut the trees as well. Doesn't have a good way of stopping this TP. Doesn't have the damage either.
Yeah, look at no one's inventory. It's the Gleipnir, it's the Hurricane Pike. Those are not the big boss late game carry items. It's not the Mjolnir, it's not the big crit or anything, it's mobility, it's utility. And the thing is, they don't have a big scaling offlaner right now as well. Resolution also not having the best game. So right now, I don't see the scaling coming out for OG.
Do you think that maybe, making him transition into things like the Silver Edge and maybe like the Satanic would have been better this game around instead of him going this full utility?
I mean, yeah.
There is a fight going on towards bottom side here. Sweden Strong extremely low. Gets at the Wukong's command. Kidtrack has to force stuff away. And finally, Rezo's able to get in towards his team fight. But with a BKB up on the TB, it is too hard for the Viper to try and play around with this. No one gets into the background and isn't able to finish off these kills just yet. Going in towards the guys that the Glimmercape means that they're able to keep themselves away. Lowe's killed though. He's dead. Oh no, he wasn't able to deal with the Nature's Prophet after the late TP in. And we see once again, Laze in trouble. They will try and use the Pulverize to find out the Snapfire. With Laze here in the corner, he gets caught by the Impale as well. Thompson's here, they do the damage and triple kill now for no one.
This was beautifully executed, not gonna lie. OG teamfight is just so beautiful to watch. Thompson went in, got off all the spells, and he actually made it out alive. Then he came in again, used his low cooldowns, and beautiful teamfight by OG. They outplayed PogChamp so much, and that's the weakness of Terrorblade, right? He's a big boss, but he can be kited. He's not too mobile. So what they did is they went in, used their spells, went out, and then when the TB had no BKB anymore, was out of position, they just re-entered the fight and crushed them. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Mm. And this is why I feel like I can never count out OG, right?
Yeah.
Because of the way these guys team fight, and now that they've been able to see the BKB come up from low skill, that was the first usage. So once that gets lower and lower, no one can try and play around with it, especially now that he has an Aegis in his pocket.
Yeah. They really learned. OG, they were super far ahead, then they lost some team fights, and now they adapted. They found out, okay, we're not as strong anymore, we got to play the fights a bit smart. And that's what they did. They just execute brilliantly, know exactly how to play the team fights. They cannot go head on anymore, but they can weave in and out and take these prolonged team fights where TB really struggles.
Does this mean we're going to be seeing a little bit of a slowdown once again from PogChamp or Lorinov? He's been found out though. BKB TP should be okay. So do you feel like PogChamp are going to try and slow down once again to try and hit another item tier for them to see if they can win these team fights a little more handedly?
Yeah, PogChamp, they either need to outplay OG themselves or they need more items. But right now, OG kind of cracked how to beat this team fight. Just kite. They have to kite. They cannot fight them head on anymore, so they kite. So PogChamp, yeah, they probably need more items to fight back, or at least wait the Aegis out.
Low skill. He is found towards this bottom side, but the rest of Old G are just walking their way back up. Seb once again doing Seb things. He has been caught out. He has an Aeon Disc to play around with, so I think he should be okay. I really like the way that they play around their vision quite a lot. Just being able to get a lot of information out of it, whether it be wards, whether it be bodies, and now they're looking to try and fight. They do know that low skill is on the bottom side here. They get the Gleipnir coming out as well. They get the Impale. A lot of damage onto the TB. Gets saved out by the Cookie, though. Oh, they force the BKB. Oh, this is massive from Old G.
That was crazy. The old man going in, just scaring low skill. Low skill is like, no, I don't want to be stunned. Presses the BKB. Job's done. That's how Old G has to play. Go in, for some BKB, some meta, like some dragon form, and just go out. Perfect. Damage is done already. They cannot fight right now with the TB having no BKB.
Yeah, because if Rezo gets anywhere close to him here, this TB is going to have a very, very rough team fight.
He's going to be super slowed. He's going to be stunned. He's going to be silenced by the static storm. He won't be able to get Sunder off. The Primal can just mess him up severely. Like, it's very hard for him to fight without BKB.
Seb's been found again, though. We'll have the Aeon Disc get proc. Popson's going to dive in. He wants to go all the way towards his tier 2 tower. Lorinov, he's the one that's been found out. BKB has to get popped. They will drop the Wukongs. So PuckChamp, again, just being forced to use too many of these spells. And once again, no BKB on the Dragon Knight, no Wukongs, no Elder Dragon form. No one's still hitting a tier 3 tower, man. Like, Old G, they're playing extremely well again in the latter stages of this game.
Yeah, they just know what to do. Poke in, force the cooldowns, and no one is like, yep, I'm farming, I'm pushing somewhere. Just the classic red Dota. Like Bulldog did it 10 years ago.
Still will live on nice and strong, especially in Western Europe. PuckChamp, unfortunately, they're behind the 8 ball. They have lost out on a lot of their items. They are still in a pretty strong position with their Terrorblade, though. Low skill is a big boy. Trying to hold out for his buyback, but he could get found out here. They do see him. BKB TP.
It's a big BKB. They don't really have a counter to it. No Abyssal coming up, I think. So it's going to be a good BKB TP out the whole game, probably.
Yeah, until maybe if Topson goes the BKB piercing pulverize.
Exactly.
Yes.
That could be coming up.
Oh, Lace just gets blown up. I wasn't quite sure if they were going to continue that fight, and it looks like they're going to continue the fight here onto Seb. Okay, enough damage to be able to get through the Spike Carapace, and they're going to look for more. Rezo's been found out. Doesn't have the BKB, another couple of seconds, but the BKB won't matter.
Yeah.
Meta has been popped, and they need to get a lot out of this, though.
Yeah, they got 2 kills. That's good. But, I mean, they won. They need the map back. Look, all the waves are being pushed in by no one's global presence, and they got to get them out to make any good plays happen. Like, any, aggression.
Okay, so he just gets the kill there onto Eki, but doesn't get anything else out of it. And as you said, like, these lanes are in such a bad position for them to try and finish this one off. And now with meta, falling off, there was no Roche for them to get. The T1 towers have already been claimed, so it was going to be hard for them to get anything back of this map. I would like to see them try and claim back their triangle a little bit, see if they can get some of this D-Ward vision going. But now, I still think they're doing a good job at slowing this game down, but Old G, this net worth graph is really starting to creep towards them.
Yeah, it's slowly going up. PuckChamp's also getting something. Like, the 20 talent is there for the TB now. It makes it a lot easier to push out the lanes with the additional duration on the illusions. And the DK also finishes Aghanim, so he's also got some scaling going. So they have to think what they can do to win the game, right? Right now, PuckChamp, they're struggling. They cannot really take the fight stat well because they're getting kited. So they have to figure out an answer. And I think they can do it. I mean, they're good players, so they have a chance.
What do you feel like the answer is going to be then for PuckChamp? Is it more the lockdown? Is it them trying to stay a little bit longer in these fights? Like, what do you feel like they really need to try and lean towards to take down?
They need to fix the lanes. Like, really make sure to fix the lanes well with the illusions. And then they need maybe some mobility on the TB as well. They need to bring the TB into the action so he can just push out that damage he has.
Spicy spot to be here for Sweden Strong. Play around with Old G, but they didn't utilize all too much. Or they did pop the Aeon Disc, so a minute and a half. No one's in the background. No one?
Holy days! He died without buyback.
He has a buyback. He didn't pop BKB either. Old G, this could be the ending, but I don't think this game's over just yet. They have found out Sweden strong, turn it back around with some BKBs. Now they go back in onto the Terrorblade, who again, low skill, still does not have that BKB available to him just yet. He will keep it in the back pocket as they want to try and kill onto Thompson, and they get two of the big cores. They're looking for the third. Lorinov comes in. Dragontail 1 second, gets it done, so they know that he's stunned up here, but do they have the damage to try and find him? The arrow goes wide, but it doesn't matter. They get the vision, they get the kill. Roche is up as well, baby, and I don't know if you caught that, but I just saw no one in the background, and he just died.
Yeah, he just died. Like, what a godlike play by Lorinov, not gonna lie. Like, no one, he was like slightly overconfident, went in there, didn't pop his BKB. Maybe he didn't respect Lorinov enough, but Lorinov said, my man, you gotta put some respect on my name. I'm gonna stun you if you fucking TP into me. And he did. Chainstone was there, he instantly died, no damage left, Resolution had no chance but like TP out, run away, and this is how fast it can go.
Yeah. And now, oh man, this game is really starting to swing back in the favor of PuckChamp. They have over the hill, and I mean, that last team fight was a gift from Gaben, it seems, definitely to PuckChamp. They've got an Aegis now for 5 minutes. The TB is going to get to a point where he's going for the Swift Blink, so exactly what he wanted. He wanted a bit of mobility from the TB.
Exactly.
Like, low skill is going to be so scary in these fights, man.
Yeah. No, like what he can do is just he goes in there and murders people. Like, what can OG do? If the big golden black dragon, if the big golden Terrorblade is in there, like what are they going to do? Run away? Yes. Can you run away against Skadi though? Kind of hard.
It feels a bit rough. Maybe looking towards Rezo to try and get this the Viper Strike out on the Terrorblade to at least slow a bit of his movement. But Hurricane Pike and Swift's Blink, I don't think you're getting away from TB if he's in meta.
Yeah, they're hunting now. They're trying to make the map dark and dangerous, and it's happening.
Thompson's been found out. Dragontail into the arrow combination. Let's see if we can gift it to low skill. No, it's going to be Lorinov who picks that one up. So right now, PuckChamp, they have 70 seconds to have their way with this mid-tier 2 tower. As long as they keep their crit waves alive, they should potentially be able to try and get a Lane of Rax here.
I mean, Lane of Rax is bonus, but what they really want to do is push out all those waves. Get the TB illusions in position, get your heroes in position to just make the map dark.
Well, they found out Sweden strong here, so the BKB got committed by Rezo. He also had to pop the BKB outside of the Hex, and now there's going to be a fight that's going to pop off. Again, Aegis still available for low skill. And oh gee, they're doing a good job at starting to pull them apart. They do miss out the impel, but he's BKB'd and stuck in the tree, so low skill has to try and TP away. They have no way of stopping it, so PuckChamp, they stay a little bit longer here in the base of Old G, and they've been punished by losing their Aegis, losing their POS 4. Does he get away? Yes, he does.
That's the slight overconfidence again. You win one team fight, you get the Roche, and you're like, let's go. But they didn't really have their cooldowns. They didn't have the meta available. They're losing their formation. They're showing themselves. And it's not like OG is weak. They're still strong. If you're fighting on your terms, you can almost always win. That's why going high ground is so hard. And this is why PuckChamp just got punished a lot. Like they got the map back, but couldn't really pressure, and now their lanes are not really pushed out well, and now PuckChamp, they have to build up the map again, like they have to get out there again, and it's kind of like a 50-50 game again.
They're definitely feeling like a team with the initiation is the team that's going to come out on top.
Yeah, like Dota, it's a sick game. Like you can never feel safe. Like the enemies can always come back. It's always about having the right position. If you're not in the right position, a good team will always punish you, even if they're 20, 30k behind. If you're not in position to fight, they will punish you. And OG, they're one of the best teams at doing this, like seeing you out of position and punishing you for your insolence.
Like this game feels like it is on a knife's edge, and even with the net worth being on a knife's edge as well, the game has rocked back to 54% in favor of PuckChamp as well for the win probability. So, yeah, this is going to be a tight one. A lot of people were expecting this series to be a little bit one-sided towards Old G, but I think PuckChamp standing strong and showing that if you do have these latter stage kind of drafts, and if you're able to hold off on the Storm, show them a bit of respect and show them that you deserve to be respected as well, You can really start to put it towards old G here.
Yeah. The one thing I'm seeing is the big boy disruptor who had a very good early game. Actually, doesn't really have that many items. Like, he doesn't have like anything close to an Aghanim, so this disruptor, like, he's not gonna have an Aghanim unless it comes from Roche. So that's also a thing going for PogChamp. Normally, you've got to fear the disruptor late game, but right now there's nothing really to fear for.
He's a very long way away from it as well, right? So it's going to be a little while before we see Kitrak be able to pick that one up. And PogChamp, they're doing a good job of just pushing out these lanes again. They're going to go for a smoke, see if they can find anybody. Seb's the closest one for them. Don't really have the vision just yet on this upper side of the map to be able to catch out any of these heroes from old G. Decent ways away from Roche respawning as well. This might be a fight on the high ground here.
Yeah, look at no one. Look at his items. His last item was the Lincoln Sphere. He's mentally scarred from this incident where he got stunned. He's like, guys, this will not happen again. I gotta buy the Lincolns.
To make sure you don't get randomly dragged. To be fair, he can still get randomly arrowed if he doesn't pop the BKB. So
True.
There is potential. That was a nice little movement we saw there from PogChamp. They all TP'd towards the bottom side. They want to try and catch NP underneath this ward they had in the trees, but they weren't quick enough.
Oh,
like
look
no
at
one's
Seb.
bones were shaken.
He's such a cheeky player. He's like walking in the enemy base. He's like, they won't have sentry there. Come on. They won't have one.
And I mean, even at the end of the day, even if they do have a sentry for him, right? Like, he's got the Aeon Disc, and now he has access to the burrow. So, going to be a tanky boy.
Yeah, if he gets that out, like he's the man. He's the tank bug.
And they're just going to get a freelander racks out of this. And old G, they did a really good job of just pulling PogChamp to the opposite side of the map so they can start to abuse this top lane. So,
yeah, they're still not getting the waves out. No one is just too good of a player.
Alright. Boys, what's up? What's going on? I'm back.
Welcome back.
We have returned. I'm back just in time to see a fight, actually. Okay, I just saw them take Rex, but now they may lose Thompson's life. Couple more right clicks, all they need. No, BKB end. I think Eki is going to finish him off with just a few more hits. Dude, is he still alive? No way. This is illegal. This is illegal. He's not allowed to live. Sweet and strong. Do the right thing. There we go.
The sweet got him.
Oh my god. All right, wait, so catch me up. I was gone 10 minutes. That's it. I come back. There's Rax taking top. There's no net worth lead. There's a super farm Terrorblade. What's been going on these last 10 minutes?
oh, you missed the most insane game of Dota 2 ever. Unfortunately, I can't explain it to you, Snare, because this was like the most mind-blowing game of Dota you'd ever experienced, and I'm really sad that you weren't here to enjoy it. It was 10 minutes of like rapiers, rampages, like it was hectic. Like, you'll see the Reddit clips. It'll be awesome, but you won't be a part of it. So it's a little sad.
Oh no. No, Sweet and strong. He might also be doing the oh no's right now. He's taking too much damage from Rezo, but no, it was just a debate. Rezo came too close. A couple more right clicks. He just gets to live on 40 HP. No one allowing him to make sure that he gets the escape, and nobody else from PogChamp wants to make the full chase. But still, that's weakness being shown. That was a lot of defensiveness from the side of OG. So even though there are racks up, it still feels like they can't just go into a team fight full-throatedly.
Yeah, that's what we saw. They can't really fight them head on anymore. They could go in, go out, force the long cooldowns from PogChamp, and then like try to fight after that. That's how OG has been trying to go at it, and how they've been kind of successful with, as you saw. PogChamp, they came back. They're actually ahead for the first time, I think, right now, and the map is actually looking good.
Yeah, they've been doing a really, really good job, and there was a moment where old G kind of had a little fluff. No one tipping into the back and not popping a BKB and dying without buyback. That's the reason why you see a big comeback coming in here from PogChamp.
Actually, a bigger comeback maybe from OG as they've taken down the offlaner. Laser's gone, and Laranov does have BKB at the ready if need be. Seb, Aeon does get triggered out, but I think Laranov and Low Scale don't really want any of this smoke. We get the stun out onto Laranov with this burrow in from Seb, and they're kind of losing down into him. Here comes Thompson with the Shiva's God. Pops it, pulverizes onto Laranov, and Laranov is dead. Didn't have time to pop off the BKB. Low Skill might be in a similar territory. Does still have meta though, so shouldn't be in that much danger. Low Skill trying to get on top of it, but nice blink back. Low Skill, no! He gets hit with the impale just before he can get off BKB. He's gonna die! Oh my god.
Bruh.
Oh my god. He was holding the BKB. He was like, oh, I'm being glimpsed, but I can hold the BKB. I don't have to BKB instantly. I'll be cool. I'll be the cool kid, BKBing at the last possible moments. There's going to be cool Reddit clips of me, and then he gets stunned by Seb and he can't press it. Unlucky.
Oh, two-time TI winner, baby. Oh, goddamn. Yeah, I was thinking the same. I was like, yeah, he's just going to put BKB. He'll be fine. And then Seb goes, nah, psych.
Not happening. Oh boy, that's like PogChamp. They must feel rattled. They were pretty good. Like they were in that game, but now it's suddenly the old G magic once again. Like they will always come back to you somehow.
Dude, look at the graph. Like, just open it up, Snare. Just open it up. Just have a look at it. Like, this is how this game's going. It's like up and down, up and down.
Oh god.
What a game.
Well, they still have a lane of racks to defend, middle and bottom. So they have opportunity to try and still make their way back into this game. Bottom lane, though, very shortly going to be taken away from them. Terrorblade does not want to buy back, so they'll sack this lane of racks. We'll see if OG will pressure them into forcing out the mid lane too. They are a little bit light in terms of their full ultimate. Static Storm did just come back online though. Lace jumps in, BKB active, and there's going to be the Sweden Strong Wukong's command. They're actually bringing no one so low. He 4 staffs away. He's going to be allowed to escape this fight somehow. He's falling lower and lower. 200 HP, but Lawnov will not let him go. We'll chase him and we'll kill him. Double kill for the DK there. They also managed to find and kill and stun up Seb. Resolution should be able to TP away from this fight, but Seb will not be as lucky. He dies right in front of the tier 3 tower. OG, they were going to try and force some extra magic, but magic runs out eventually. And PogChamp gets some kills for the DK.
Holy moly, even low skill, he was holding his buyback. I was like, oh my god, how can he do this? The Balls of Steel, the NP was almost surviving. Like, I was like, oh my god, if this NP survives, like the holding buyback thing is not going to work out. But then NP dies, he holds the buyback. Now they're fight again. It's like, holy moly.
This game is now getting to the point where you're starting to look towards things like the Aghanim's Disruptor, like you've got a lot coming in from Seb as well, Hexes and all that kind of stuff. BKB is getting super low as well in these fights. So if Rezo's able to, if Rezo's able to survive a lot in these fights, like this game could be going back and forth a whole lot more.
They lose mid-range of racks. So they get something out of this. The question is, will they equalize the racks advantage? 30 seconds until no one is back. They get the Hex out onto the low skill, but here we go. Jump onto Resolution. He's not dead just yet, but he's taking so much physical damage. He is gone without buyback. Sweden's strong on the crew inside of the weak Wukong's command. Doing way too much work. Thompson follows him into the grave. Thompson does have buy. Definitely does not want to have to use it. Sweden strong, still alive, getting kept further alive by the fire snap quickie. They glimpse back Sweden strong. But even if they get the kill onto him, this is a 4-position Monkey King. He doesn't care that much if he dies like this. Several buybacks coming in. OG buyback on Thompson, but Thompson getting stunned up. Thompson losing his life. He doesn't have BKB anymore. He doesn't have a life anymore. He's down in the grave without buyback. And now here's PogChamp on the high ground, pushing to try and end out this game. These want the second lane of racks. Question is, will OG challenge them? Once they realize that, wait a second, they don't have Thompson, they might as well just go for the Megas.
Yeah, dude, the Black Dragon is there. Like, TB, he doesn't need meta. They got the Metamorphosis mid laner, the DK.
Wow. Glimpse back onto TB, he doesn't care. They jump in onto Kitrak. Lorinov wants to try and find this kill. Kitrak kept alive by Seb, but Sweden Strong is already scouting things out, ready to supply some additional damage and some stun if need be. One lane of racks to go. And Fluke, one of the things Jim Vincento said before we started this game is that side of PogChamp, they like to be able to play for the late game. They haven't been able to get there all that often, but this time around, when they do get there, man, they look so dangerous. No one forced to go into the BKB. Low skill jumps on top of him with his own BKB. They sunder off Kitrak to bring him low. No one gets brought down with the Scat Fire Blast. Kitrak is dead as well, and that is going to be no buyback available for the Nature's Prophet. Kitrak can't do it though. He comes in with Resolution. There's no BKB. What a stun from Seb. They actually killed the Terrorblade. Eki's going to die as well. And they glimpse back Lace to ensure that he has no escape either. He's going to try TP out. No way. This is illegal. Seb couldn't get off the Burrow. The Impale coming in from the Burrow was just shy of the range. Are you kidding me? What the hell is this game?
They all use buybacks. Now it's time. Go time. Do or die. Low skill for the buyback.
18 seconds left on Thompson as well.
Look what they're doing, boys. Look at Seb. Seb, they know where he's at, but they just want the Megas. I think they get Megas and you just leave.
Yep, that's how you do it. You play it safely. Dude, they don't see Sabrod. Like, what? It's so weird. It's so weird, these
Alright.
versions.
Oh, the
Here's
Ilus.
Megas.
Roshop, though.
Alrighty.
Roshop, low skill wants that Aegis. He used the buyout. He wants the Aegis.
Fluke, do they defend us on the side of OG? Do you have to try and contest knowing that you're playing 4v4?
You have to go to Roche right now. Like you just have to. You can't give an Aegis away to low skill. I don't think they're going to get there in time. Thompson needs to go.
They're here, it's not dead just yet. Lies gets himself hexed up. Oh no, but no! They pulverized the illusion! But they still do get the kill on the Snapfire. In the meantime, Roach still alive. Thompson goes in with the Shiva's Guard. They really want the big man. They want the stages. Roshan gets killed by the Radiant side. Who's gonna get the Aegis? It's still on the ground. Thompson picks it up. Thompson's gonna try and turn the fight. He loses his first life though. However, he has denied this from both Lorenov and low skill on the TB. He will be able to escape onto the high ground. Kid Track, not so lucky. As he gets brought down, he doesn't have buyback of his own. Jumping onto the high ground is Lorenov. Seb is left behind, but he's not the target they want. They want some bigger prey off the back of this. And the prey, though, might be Lorenov. You have to force off him away. Thompson thought about going in, but changes his mind and angles in a different way for the onslaught. They get the Aegis for Thompson. They deny it away from PugChamp. And because they brought back on the Terrorblade, I don't think they have appetite to go high ground until they actually get an Aegis. We might be in this game for at least another 7 minutes.
Yeah, like I played with Losko. Like he's the responsible guy. He's gonna say, guys, I'm gonna stay on our part of the map. I'm not gonna go any risk. I want to wait for my buyout because they got mega creeps. They should not feel pressured at all. How they win this game is stay safe on the heroes that have no buyout. Push out the waves with the illusions. With the DK, then the TB. Oh, Seb Ponce. Holy.
What a player. He actually was waiting for Sweet and Strong. He was literally positioned in the perfect area. Prepared for this. They caught him. This is fun. So Fluke would now finally in the late game where PugChamp get to be in a position where they're farmed as hell on their heroes, especially on low skill. But right now, if you're OG, how much pressure do you think they're under? Are we in buying crazy items from no one territory just yet, like some rapiers or something, or is he still okay?
I don't think you need like a rapier. I don't think they're lacking damage. He just needs to survive in these fights. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like they need to make sure that they're going together as 5 and they're initiating properly, because the issues that they've been having, OG specifically in some of their fights, is like they're just being caught out, but then they'll come back in the next fight and they'll play like the most beautifully executed team fight you'll ever see. So they just need to kind of get that cohesion going, and they know who they need to kill. Right, they need to kill low skill. He's one of the big ones to be able to take down. If they're able to catch the TB, then this game looks easy for them. I don't think they're sweating all too much because they know exactly what they need to do. It is late game Dota, which can make anybody sweat, but I mean, these guys have been here for a long time. Oh, Lorenov.
We're in a bad place here, my friend.
He's dead.
He is trying to TP out. He's not going to be allowed to do so.
His buyout, though.
He does have buyback, to be fair. And at this stage of the game, that's all that really matters. And OG, they probably know this, so they're not going to mount a push just yet.
Yes, can we take a second to appreciate how fucking good Seb is? This guy is always finding the jumps. He found the jump into the Roche pit. He found Sweet and Strong. Now he finds the DK. This guy, like, honestly, I think if they go to Div 1, and maybe he can even go to Majors or something. Maybe they even qualify for TI. I want to see this guy on TI.
Jim Vincenzo, it's almost like he's won TI before.
Nah.
You know?
No way.
Yeah, I think this guy's pretty good. I don't know. Maybe he's won some tournaments here or there. Maybe he's like, you know, kind of just been able to go out of the game, come back into the game, still, you know, win majors and stuff. I don't know. He might have some accolades. Maybe we should check up on him.
He's okay, you know?
Look at the pressure on PugChamp. Like, they're actually feeling pressure. They're like literally not even outside of their base. They're like, guys, like, we can't do it. It's like Seb is everywhere. Like, we can't go outside. It's too much. Like, too much.
For now, though, they are still just farming up, waiting for the next fight. OG have gotten this push in. This is the exact site where the game changed. They lost a fight right here. The ramp up into the mid lane, and that turned the entire map around. Let's see how this push goes for them. Just want them chain disable onto resolution. High space and time for Lorenov to return. 10 seconds away, basically, at this point. And there's no way he buys back anymore. OG, I really wonder if they're comfortable being here. They don't have Aegis on anybody. several heroes do not have buyback. This is a dangerous place to be. Rezo getting himself stunned up. Low skill just jumps him, and low skill just kills him.
Yep.
He is the only hero with buyback on the Radiant side, being this young Viper. Oh no, Seb. TP cancelled away. Freedom Strong goes in for the BKB. They already get themselves the kill right now onto Seb. It's a double for Eki. And that's no Seb for 2 minutes. Honestly, Seb is super important for their defense, so they might just go high ground.
Did we jinx him, guys? Did we jinx him?
I
Here
think
it
so.
is. Look at no one. Fluke, look at no one. Click on him. I
To
told
be
you that
fair-
happened, bro.
To be fair, I will say that OG they can do this without Seb, but they're gonna have to play out of their brains. And as you said, Rapier at the ready now for no one. It's all about who catches who. Like this heck is super important. These BKBs are ultra important. Oh, Thompson, no.
No. Away right now. See that they are going to be going in. Larnoff forced off away. Maybe okay for the time being. BKB by no one. You really want to throw in this damage, but once the BKB is down, he has to watch himself. They jump right now forward, going on to Thompson with the Dragon Tail stun. They force the buyback from Resolution. The only one available. And PuckChamp, we'll see how much of a rush they feel to try and end this game out. They know for a fact that Seb does not have buyback. Stun up Resolution. Thompson going forward. There's no more BKBs available. Larnoff wants to try and bring down Rezo. Gonna force the buyback, and they should be able to do it. 2 minutes in the grave without him. Kid track joins him as well. And now they're looking towards the jugular. Thompson
Oh, the
finding
fear.
himself stunned up by Larnoff. They get the fear out as well. That should be it. Larnoff finds the damage. The terror wave came out from low skill. And although they buy back for no one as well as Thompson, the Rapier is on the deck. Thompson now stunned up, right click down. He's going to lose his life. And no one without the Rapier. My friend, you are just not scary. And GG well played as score. PuckChamp secure game number 1 here against OG. They get to the late game, and when they get there, they get themselves the W.
That's big from PuckChamp to be able to close this one out here. So now you're looking fabulous as ever, mate. But the way that I would say.
Đã không lên mua gì. Phục sự.
Classic game, I think. Gotta have the blinds over to know the sun is out. It is always game in hours. Work as in winning games, or I like gaming at night, but then I have to kind of keep somewhat of a non-degen schedule, so it's a constant battle of staying up late because I prefer it as well, the quiet, but then I kind of have to wake up early sometimes, and I don't know. It's a battle. It's a battle. I don't know what to do, honestly, with my schedule right now. What about you? What works best for you? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's very interesting they picked the techies here. That there must familiar with techies, or then